Welcome, GenXGrownUp Podcast listeners, to our GenXGrownUp Backtrack, which is, as you know, the podcast between our regular show where we pick a single topic from our childhood and dig deep into it. The topic this show is the GenX fast food experience.
Woohoo! Yay!
Which is not unlike my fast food experience now, except it was fun.
Right. It was fraught with peril and cheeseburgers. Now it's different.
So kind of like how we talked about breakfast cereals a few shows ago, this is not something that's gone. You can still go get a breakfast cereal. You can still go to the fast food restaurants.
Right.
But we were talking amongst ourselves the other day, and it's like, but it's changed so substantially that it warranted us reminiscing back on what was so cool and different and unique about the fast food experience back when we were growing up as Gen Xers.
Yeah, it was a completely different era. I know that our parents, they kind of started the fast food movement, so to speak, but it didn't really come into its own until our generation got a hold of it.
Until those baby boomers had all these kids that needed to be fed.
That's right. Exactly.
So let's start with one of the cool things that, again, it's still around, but it was so unique and novel back then. What about those birthday clubs that you could do?
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
That was one of my favorite things. Like, I wanted every time we would go to McDonald's, even though I had already signed up on like 27 cards before that, I would make my mom get me a card off the little rack on the side there, and I would furiously fill it out with the pencil that they would give you, and then put it in a little box and just pray and wait for Ronald McDonald to send me a message or a love note. I don't know what was going to happen, but
show up at your house.
8-year-old me wanted Ronald McDonald to celebrate the birthday with.
Did you ever have a birthday at McDonald's?
No, I absolutely didn't. No, I wanted to, but it just never worked out with timing, so I never got to. That's why I was so adamant about filling out that card.
I did go to one, not my birthday, but I did get to go to a birthday at a McDonald's.
Somebody invited you to one.
I mean, it was just eating at McDonald's with a party hat. It was not a big deal, but it was neat.
But didn't Ronald
cool.
McDonald come out and take pictures and all that kind of stuff?
Listen, not at my backwater McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah, he was afraid to go there.
We all got like a little placemat wrapped in plastic that had like crayons and an extra little toy in it. That was the deal. And you had a party hat.
Right. Balloons or something like that, I'm guessing.
There were a bunch of balloons. Yeah. And cheeseburgers. You're
McDonald's wasn't the only place that did the birthday celebration. All the other fast food restaurants, Burger King, Wendy's even, believe it or not, they all did different fast foods. But I think my favorite,
it was a marketing ploy for anybody.
Yeah, because you get the kids there. You know, it's a built-in food buying audience right away. The parents are going to buy something because they're not going to go hungry. But I think one of my favorites that I got to experience, they opened up a 2-story Chuck E. Cheese.
A 2-story?
Yeah, it was a 2-story Chuck E. Cheese.
All right, Hollywood.
The upper floor was all video games and usually 3 or 4 copies of each game that they had. And then the downstairs was the entertainment venue where they had like Chuck E. Cheese and his band in the big room.
Sure, yeah, the animatronics.
And they had 2 smaller rooms. One of them had this hippo lady playing a piano like in a night lounge type of thing.
Wow.
And then, and then in the other one, it was an Elvis Presley lion impersonator guy.
Okay, are you sure this actually occurred, or is this like...
Was this a fever dream?
No. This actually happened. It was really cool.
This sounds like a Beatles movie or something. I don't know.
No, it was...
And George wakes up, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there. And you were a lion Elvis, and you were playing piano.
No, it was great, though. It was real. Damn it, it was real to me.
Wow.
Remember the ball pits that you would try and dive into and immediately need spinal surgery afterwards?
That's where all the little kids went to pee, I think.
Those ball pits were gross.
They were, but, you couldn't resist all of that. Because when you would see it on TV in the commercials, it looked so much fun. And then you get there and, just die from the pain that you would enter.
Yeah. Especially from your face hitting that diaper that was left in there.
But right. But I love the birthday celebrations at those places. I even went so far as later on taking my son when he was younger to the local Chuck E. Cheese. It wasn't the 2-story one anymore. It was just a small little strip mall Chuck E. Cheese. But we took him and he had 2 or 3 birthdays at that Chuck E. Cheese.
You know, when my daughter was little, we did one of her birthdays at a Chuck E. Cheese. Now that you mention it, I remember. And she loved Chuck E. Cheese. We didn't, but she did. So.
Oh, no.
Don't forget, there was the knockoff Chuck E. Cheese Showbiz Pizza.
I have never heard of that.
Never heard of Showbiz?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think up until just a few years ago, there was still a Showbiz Pizza in Orlando.
You know how I love documentaries. I will tell you, we'll link it in the show notes below. There is a great documentary about the Showbiz house band. It was like Chuck E. Cheese's band.
Yeah.
They had a band too, and it's about the company that made them and this guy who was just a huge fan of it. And it explores, there's this underground group of people who love those showbiz pizza bands. They will buy old surplus ones,
No, really?
set them up, and they write their own programs for them to play current music.
Oh, jeez.
I want to see that documentary. That's awesome.
It's really fun. We'll link it below, like I said, and it's I love seeing fringe people that just find something you love and don't be ashamed. Love it. And they do. They really just take it to the nth degree. And it's great to watch.
And see, that's something that was born out of that whole fast food experience that you wouldn't have had otherwise. I mean,
no
that's
doubt.
awesome.
Something brand new you never had before.
Who's got the best darn burger and a whole lot more? Burger King introduces 4 new specialty sandwiches.
We all enjoyed the birthday parties, but one of the best parts about the birthday party, you could get any time of the year, any day of the week, and that were the toys that would come at the fast food places.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big
whether
thing,
it's
right?
Happy Meal toy or you get some tickets and buy a spider ring, all kinds of toys
Yep.
that you could get.
And it wasn't just the toys that you would get inside the box. Back then, the boxes themselves were a toy
yeah, it
as
was
well,
a
just like
toy.
we talked about with the cereal boxes, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
puzzles on them and stuff. Yeah.
I know sometimes they were like, the box is the toy nowadays. No, the box was an extra toy back then.
Well, now they don't even give you a box now. It's just a bag.
You know, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
And
horrible.
if you did the McDonald's one, remember the handle was a little M arches.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
That's right. It's just a bag now. Oh, what a shame.
And that was something
Yep.
that was lost. And they did that box so brilliantly, whoever it was that designed it. It wasn't just the front and the back. The sides had stuff to do.
Yeah.
It was
The
all the
bottom
way
did
around.
too,
The
yeah.
bottom had the
Didn't it?
answers a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And corny jokes written on the corners and the edges. Yeah. It was a whole experience.
It
Yeah,
was.
It's a shame.
Inside there, you would get those toys. And I don't know about you guys, but I would make my mother go back to the restaurant like 5 or 6 times a week until I got all the toys in a collection because there was never
Collecting all
just
of them?
one. Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 things. Usually collect them all.
Oh, right. That's right. Another cool thing that you could get that was kind of like a toy, but it wasn't given away for free, that has gone away almost completely these days, and they're sought after these days. Remember the extras you could purchase?
Oh yeah.
Like mugs or glasses or
Oh, yeah,
something?
yeah.
I know.
Yeah, the tie-ins, right? Because they were always
That's
tied
right.
into
They
a
had Star
TV
Wars
show or a
glasses
movie.
or something.
That's right.
I still have 2 of my McDonald's Garfield glasses.
Oh, really?
Yep, I've got them
Wow.
here at my house.
I still have a couple of those Taco Bell Star Trek II The Wrath of Khan glasses that I got back in late 70s, early 80s.
Wow, that would
Yep.
have been like 83, 82?
Yeah, something like
Because it
that.
came out in
Sure.
82,
Yeah.
I think, right?
And you go to a toy thing or anybody that has a dealer's room or a comic book show, and you're going to see those glasses. People still want them. I don't know why they just don't do them anymore.
You know
they
what-
charge. They weren't free.
Yeah,
They're
you
like
had
a
to
buck
buy
or
them.
two a
Buy 'em.
piece.
Yeah, it was usually like $1 or $2 or something like that.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
weren't like expensive, but yeah, you had to buy them.
I actually got in 1979, and I know that because the copyright is on the little cup, a little plastic cup from Star Trek The Classic Series.
Really?
I took it to MegaCon a couple of years ago when William Shatner was there and got him to autograph the cup. And that's still one of my
Okay.
favorite things. I mean, his autograph was ridiculous price, and this cup will probably never be worth, what I paid for his
Right.
autograph. Just to have that piece of fast food childhood history and his autograph on it, I think that's awesome for me now as a Gen X grown up.
I've got mad respect for people that get original things autographed. Anybody can have, a headshot, a
Right.
picture of you. It's really neat, something like that you remember and get that extra special personalized.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was smart. I like that. It's a neat idea.
They had so many great glasses. Of course, half the time they wouldn't last. They would get broken at the house or something. But
Well, they weren't
Yeah,
like
that's-
the best made glasses ever,
no,
They were pretty thin.
No.
That's why their value is still high, because they're pretty fragile.
Yep, I bet you can find them all on eBay or something like that. But you probably pay a pretty penny for them.
Oh, God, you had to mention that. I'm going to go look now.
He's gonna get the collection.
Where's the beef?
He's putting us under the supervisor.
If you ask me, which you didn't, we should call the owner.
At Wendy's, the hamburger we modestly call a single has more beef than the Big Mac or Whopper.
We've got the owner.
Hello? Where's the beef?
You know why the glasses usually didn't make it out of the store was because you wanted to carry them when you went out on the frickin' playground.
That's right. Yep, I remember the playgrounds.
And they still got a lot of playgrounds, but
Not
back
like
in our
those
day,
playgrounds.
they weren't padded playgrounds with happy round
Oh, no,
corners.
no.
They were
Steel.
concrete and razor wire. You had to be careful out there.
Big giant rusted metal sculptures that you would climb inside like rockets or
Oh, God.
Yeah.
the Hamburglar's head.
Yep.
You have to fight off the raccoons and stuff that were in there.
Oh, and the things that had the giant springs coming up out of the ground that you would sit on. And
Oh, that you ride.
Oh, yeah, like
Yeah.
a sit on a
Thing.
ride. Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And the centrifuge of death that you had. You ever had those things? You just spin you around. All it does is spin really, really fast.
Centrifuge of death. It's separating my white blood cells from my red blood cells
Yeah, exactly.
as I spin.
And you don't dare let go because you're going to fly a good 10 feet away from that thing.
And remember those, like, the jungle gyms that you would climb through and stuff? That was great for, like, if you wanted to have Fight Club for kids, because you would go inside there, your parents couldn't see, you just beat the hell out of each other in those things. I mean, maybe that was
Two
just
will enter, only one shall leave.
Yeah. It was awesome. And they weren't like the little pansy playgrounds that they have now with all the plastic and soft
The
pads
rubberized
to land
floor,
on.
yeah.
No.
Let me tell you, in my day, the playgrounds had swings.
That's right.
Are they too dangerous now or something?
Well, yeah, swings are gone now because basically you're a human pendulum just clocking kids in
Really?
the head.
They don't
so
have
no
swings
anymore.
anymore? Wow.
You can't. Kids are clocking other kids with their feet,
Well,
so
they
swings
did
are
when
gone.
we were kids too, but we knew to get out of the
come on.
way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When you jumped off the swing, that was the best part when it was at its
Oh, yeah.
parity.
It's called
you
survival
take
of the
off.
fittest.
Oh.
The kid who got clocked in the head on the swing should not be reproducing.
Exactly.
That's right. Clear out the gene pool now.
If you got clocked twice, then that was just
That's natural
your fault.
selection.
Yeah.
You're out of the playground.
Right.
You're out of the playground and the gene pool.
My fast food experience growing up was not so much in the city because I don't know. We grew up in New York, and fast food was just kind of like it was a treat thing. Like we did it occasionally, but it wasn't, oh my God, I'm late to make dinner kind of thing. Usually, we took these long car trips, and that's when we were always excited because we hit the fast food places.
Oh, right, because they would be near the interstate
okay.
exits, right?
Interstate
Yeah.
exits, and then you see like some of the stuff that's like kind of looks like McDonald's, but it's not really a McDonald's.
McDowell's.
Hit up the McDougal's.
McDougal's or something, and they didn't have a hamburger, but they had something similar. But anyway, they were still fun. I mean, because all we know is that we got milkshakes, so I was happy.
And you're riding in the car and you got a sweaty paper cup between your thighs and
Right.
French fries jammed in the door crack.
Yeah, that was true. I mean, I guess that's part of that fast food experience was that you didn't just eat in the restaurant. You would eat in your car while you were traveling, even if it was stopping on the way home after school.
Yeah, because I was growing up, they really didn't have the drive-thrus.
Really?
That was something that came a little bit later. No,
Because they had, the
the
drive.
drive-thrus didn't show up until
Maybe that was a New York being late to the dance thing, but drive-thrus happened like in the 60s.
Really for
Yeah.
McDonald's and those guys.
The first one
Well,
was Jack in the Box, if I remember right.
Well, it's because people don't drive in New York.
That's
That's
true.
true,
That's true.
yeah.
There is that.
And plus, your like fast food place was probably like in the middle of the block with like a bunch of other buildings jammed around it and stuff. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
no drive through there.
Yeah, that's true. And also like in a restaurant next to it,
Right.
Like a real one.
like a real restaurant. And I
That's
remember
awesome.
specifically, my dad loved Arby's.
Right.
And somewhere between one year and the next, Arby's suddenly went from this awesome, huge roast beef sandwich to this 2 pieces of bread with a little bit of roast beef in between. That
Pathetic little bird.
pathetic
yeah,
little thing.
buns.
And my dad was I still remember he was so pissed off. He's like, what the hell is that? And he never went back again. He's like, that's it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they
Killed it for him.
At Arby's, you get a great roast beef sandwich that we spent 4 hours cooking just for you. At Arby's, the 4-hour sandwich is 5 minutes away.
I don't think any of us would have necessarily been attracted to some of the fast food restaurants if it wasn't for the mascots.
Oh, and there's so many good ones. And that
Yeah.
are gone.
A lot of them are
Disappeared.
gone, yeah. I mean, some of them are still around. Ronald is still kind of around, although I don't really see him in the commercials anymore. He's got like a little fake statue on a bench now, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like,
more of just, he's like a corporate logo now. He used to be a character.
he's like the KFC guy, right? He's just sort of there. But
Yeah.
not.
He's just there, right?
But there were a
there used to be,
whole group
they had a
of
whole
them.
cast.
Yeah.
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 I mean, there was Hamburglar,
Yep. Big purple grimace.
right? Grimace. And Fry Guys. Don't forget those.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, the little French
and their
fries.
commercials, it would act out whole little like scenes in their commercials. Adventures would take place.
Yeah, because, like the Hamburglar was trying to steal the food, and Ronald McDonald
That's right.
and all those
Yeah.
guys would stop him from it. Oh, silly Hamburglar.
I like the hamburger.
Yeah.
And also, this time of year is like they would do all their holiday commercials.
Right.
Because they had those, remember these
that's
sell those
right.
things that you could give to people for Christmas and had like $1 off.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the books of
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Burger King, actually, there was a Burger King. And the reason I remember that is because there was a Burger Prince, I think it was, but there was a whole commercial because he was upset because he couldn't eat an entire Whopper, so they came up with the Whopper Jr.
Right.
So that's when the Whopper
right.
Jr. came out.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And, Burger King and Burger Prince, they weren't the only ones. There was also like a whole little court, so to speak, of
Yeah.
the kingdom. And one of my favorites was Sir Shake-a-Lot.
Oh, that's right. Sir Shake-a-Lot. I remember him. Oh, I got to go to YouTube and look these old commercials up.
Oh, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
great.
They still give you the crowns there that they used to. Remember the paper crowns you used to get at
I
Burger
know
King?
they did up
I
to
think
a
you
few
can still
years
get
ago.
those.
Yeah, because my
Yeah.
son would bring them
Yep.
home when Grandma would take him. That was a gimme. Grandma's taking him to Burger King. He's bringing home a little paper crown.
A lot of people today will forget that for a time there in the late 80s, early 90s, Taco Bell had a character, a mascot. Remember that stupid little chihuahua?
That was
yeah.
part of the
Good ghetto.
dog mascot craze, right? There was a whole group of dogs that just came out. They were trying to sell you everything from beer to tacos, apparently.
Oh, we had Spuds McKenzie?
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, but the Taco Bell
What did that
Chihuahua.
stupid chihuahua say? What he had a catchphrase.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yo
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, that's not insensitive at all.
Some Gen Xers, that's the only Spanish they know.
I think Taco Bell was pretty insensitive just in the fact that it would say it was Mexican food, and it really wasn't.
That's true. It wasn't Mexican. It wasn't
Right.
food.
Yeah. The chihuahua was the least offensive thing about Taco
Yes,
Bell's
right.
Mexican food.
I mean, they had a lot of great mascots back in the day that just are no longer here. Remember Frisch's Big Boy?
Oh, it had a huge statue out front.
And he was holding up the
Yes.
burger, on his little plate,
That's
and he was
right.
kind of running usually.
Isn't he pretty much what the lard lad is modeled after in The Simpsons?
think so,
right?
yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, do you get the impression, guys, from like looking back now, then to now, that back when we were kids, it seems like all the fast food places were sort of competing to get your business?
Of course.
oh, yeah.
But now it doesn't seem like they're doing that. It's like they just sort of build them next to each other and you figure out which one you want to go to. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
weren't.
it's a different type of competition. Now it's based on price point. It's not based on marketing anymore. Now it's $5 meal this or $4 meal that, or
Yeah.
we give you more food, so pay more for it because it's quality.
When we were growing up, it was like, let's attract the kids here because they're going to love it.
Right.
It's salty, it's greasy, the kids are going to love it. And now fast fooders are so working so hard to fight off lawsuits and to fight off, oh, you're making everyone obese. And they're, oh, you can get carrots with your Happy Meal.
What?
Fuck carrots with my Happy Meal. I want French fries with my
that's
Happy
because
Meal.
we
The
all
worst part is
kinda-
they make the carrots look like French fries, which
Right,
is just
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, that doesn't
Well, I
count.
mean, we all kind of grew up, right? So we were the kids who, I think, brought about the fast food revolution, so to speak. I think now we've grown up, so they have to market to that same group because they know we'll still buy the stuff. They just have to market to us differently because we're older now.
Yeah, you're right.
There were still a lot of other great mascots. I'm not going to let us go unless we talk about Domino's Pizza Noid.
You got to avoid him. You have to avoid
Avoid
him.
the Noid.
Avoid the
No,
Noid.
we're not avoiding the Noid here. No, Domino's Pizza Noid. He might have been one of my favorites at that time during the Pizza Wars.
Oh, man.
Oh, the Pizza Wars.
Mo, you talked about Arby's, right? Remember,
Yeah.
there was that stupid oven mitt thing.
Oh, yeah, right?
Oh, yeah.
There was a little character. He was like the hamburger helper mitt, but not
Right.
quite.
I don't know which one came first. One of them ripped off the other one, I'm sure, but
I don't know what he was, but he was spooky.
I know some of them, you look back, you're like, actually, these are kind of creepy.
right, yeah.
They are kind of creepy, but they were pandering to kids. You know, it was interesting, it was bright, it was colorful, and it got us in there to have a burger and fries.
Yep. Or
Yeah.
in the case of Long John Silver the Pirate, fish and chips, which were French fries anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, they're not fries, they're chips.
They're chips.
Easy now. As we said at the beginning, fast food's still around. You know, we still get out there and I'll have a cheeseburger every now and again, but it's changed so dramatically. It's really cool to kind of look back and think about those cool things like the Showbiz Band and the great toys and
Yeah.
the dangerous playgrounds. You know, we're older and don't need as much grease and salt and fat, but I know when I go, I think back to those
That's
things.
what
Don't
I
you
want.
guys?
If they find that nostalgia meal, I'll be there buying it probably twice a week.
Yep. It's going to come in a little box with arches on
Absolutely.
top and it's full of nostalgia. Count me in.
Love comic books? Then check out Parlapod, the podcast for die-hard fans. We've got interviews,
Hi, this is Kelly Jones.
Hi, everybody. This is John Semper.
This is Ming Chen.
Hey, this is Tim Seeley.
Hey, folks, this is Brian O'Halloran.
Hey, what up? This is Jason Mewes, and you're listening to Parlapod.com comic book podcast. Snooch to the news.
reviews.
These covers are blowing me away. So,
Concept is just too darn good. I wish they had done a better job with it.
And all the comic book news you need to know about.
Mark Strong is in talks to play the villain, Dr. Savannah.
All in, man. He was a great Sinestro, too.
Available on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, and it's always free to download. Follow us on social media at Parlapod. Fresh episodes every Wednesday morning, just in time for your trip to the local comic book store. Parlapod. We are your source for everything comic book related. Give us a listen today.
I really enjoyed that trip down fast food lane.
Yeah, it was
We
fun.
talked about a lot of stuff. I know a lot of it's gone, but some of it's not forgotten. I'm sure we can include some stuff in the show notes for that.
And also be sure to subscribe to us on your podcast app, whether it's through Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, or iTunes.
And speaking of iTunes, I always ask if you would take a second to open up your iTunes app, look up Gen X Grown Up, give us a 5-star rating, and write a little review to let other people find us. And speaking of find us, if you have a friend who's not listening to the show and they're your friend, they might like us too. Grab their phone and subscribe to the Gen X Grown Up Podcast when they're not looking. They'll be glad that you
And fourth listener, I know you're out there, and I know that you ate fast food at one time just like we did, so send us an email about your fast food experience at podcast@genxgrownup.com.
Don't forget to visit us on YouTube or on our website, which is genxgrownup.com.
And I think now that we're wrapped up, I haven't had dinner yet, so I may take a drive up to McDonald's or Taco
Yo quiero
Bell
Taco
and get
Bell.
me a meal.
Yo quiero.
Fun getting together. Always a good time.
All right.
I will see you guys next time. Take care.
See you guys.
No life, no fun. Don't you know that you're a grown up? No games, no puns. Basically, life sucks as a grown up.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks Assemble!